Good evening. We are back. Now, things are not quite as we left them. A certain black male dog who is on very thin ice. As we may recall, the end of the stream was I was wrapping up and the doorbell went, so I had to finish slightly abruptly. While I was answering the door, apparently felt that my bobbin cushion would make a great stepping stone to the table. No, it's not that stable. It really isn't. And, well, it all went flying. Now, last time this happened, there was breakage, swearing, because for ages I couldn't work out why things weren't adding up. And when I say they weren't adding up, as you know, we have pairs of bobbins. And I'd get to a point and I'd have a bobbin, and I'd be like, I don't think I got this wrong. Yet turned out one of the bobbins had snapped off and pinged across the floor, as inevitably these things do, but it hadn't snapped off and left a tail so I could tell. No, it snapped off and disappeared its thread up a centimetre or so, and so of course was kind of invisible. Now, I do believe we did not have a repeat of the breaking of the threads, but I did have to spend 90 plus minutes untangling bobbins. And, well, as you know, the big piles of bobbins give me anxiety. And as I'd mentioned, the, quote, lovely bobbin holders that I have are not really macho for the job. They're a little bit limp and, well, they barely do their job on a flat surface. Put things in motion with a bit of gravity and sudden stoppages and no. Well, if anything, they all popped off, all the threads tangled underneath them, so they did kind of group some of the threads together, but what they didn't do was stop other threads from travelling between them, so it was a royal mess, and I am less in the mood to be doing a lot of lace bobbining today. As a result, I feel sitting down, chilling out, and frankly, if I had some booze, I'd probably be drinking it. So, I am not best pleased, and Sir Paul's the highlight of the whole dog of mass destruction saga that occurred was that most of the contents of my computer table, which frankly is a bit of a shit show, I tend to pile things up there because I've got a tray for the keyboard, so things that can go on the table can stay where they are on the table because it's kind of, I wouldn't say in use, but you know, it's kind of not. I came in to being seconds away from Mr. Paws achieving his prize goal. Now, I need to express this in a way that does not sound, well, wrong. Someone has a penchant for Vaseline tubs. Now, I don't understand it, because the first time he did it, well, it did what Vaseline does, which is, well, it's petroleum jelly, for those who aren't aware of Vaseline specifically. It is a brand name, after all. It's petroleum jelly, and as a result of being petroleum jelly, it lubricates. Now, I use it because I get eczema and it helps with some of the dry, chafy, itchy bits. So hence I've got quite a tub of it, because I get quite a lot in my hair, quite a lot around my nose, and I perpetually seem to have dry chapped lips. And occasionally other bits of me join in, mainly on my feet at the moment, but it is a useful tub for me to have around to chill the itchy, grumpy Liz. Well, so the Vaseline travelled through the dog, lubricating as it went. And we all know that on the way out, well, let's just say it was not good for my beige carpet. So having done it once, and he was quite unhappy because, well, it obviously was a little bit like drinking colonoscopy prep. He was not unhappy. He was pretty unhappy about it all. Yeah, must have been 2 months later, little sod did it again. And he didn't get a whole tub this time. Last time he licked it proper sparkle clean. So the second time he'd got, I don't know, probably half the tub. And he seemed to be doing all right. I did wonder if maybe due to there being less, I'm not entirely sure how much he'd actually eaten. Maybe we got away with it. Until he did one of his things, which is he likes to climb behind me on the couch, which is why we often get conversations of him coming up, because he has to come up through the smallest possible hole so that he can sit beside me or walk through to the large empty gap that he could have got up far easier into if he'd just got up into it. And there was a warm feeling. And this was not a dog belly warm feeling. This was a puzzling warm feeling. Because he kind of seemed to fart. Although maybe I'd misheard it. Because it was only a bit of a kind of noise. Yeah. The entire lump of Vaseline that he ate was now stuck to the back of the couch. And, well, the warm feeling that I had was the other side of it attached to my shoulder. So there was much ew and foul animal and kind of running around and trying to clean. Getting Vaseline off a couch is really, really not easy. I just need to say that. Especially warmed Vaseline, let's leave it as warmed, and perhaps slightly second hand. Because you just want that to be as clean can be, having known where it's been. And, yeah, it was not his finest moment. I mean, it was better than the first, but it was not his finest moment. And he clearly was quite distraught by having sharted something the size of a small, well, it was bigger than a tennis ball, this lump. It was more than a handful, right? So the fact that he was trying to go for round 3 really is quite disappointing. It does show a considerable, and I mean colossally considerable, lack of sense, frankly, because you didn't enjoy it the first 2 times, and it's the same stuff, so it's not going to taste different, it's not going to act different, it is literally a third tub of the same stuff, because it works really well on me, so I like it. So can you not, please, dog? So I only got my dinner about 15 minutes ago, which I have now eaten, and speaking of Vaseline tub, because he didn't get it, I am still using it, because he didn't get it. Because needless to say, if he'd had it, no, let's not. I mean, I'm not a germaphobe. My dogs can lick my face, I will not kill them. Yeah, no. And yeah, don't look excited, you're not getting any. So we are ready for a bit more. I believe I have sorted my bobbins. I believe they're in the places they should be. But to be honest, I think there's going to be a big fuck up bit around these raw edges of the moment. Just because I can't promise anything's where it should be. The disappointment in my heart is huge because we're trying so hard to get this right, and coming into the room, seeing the pillow on the floor, looking at all the bobbins that are mated. Yes, Mr. Paws. No, you had some chips, and frankly, you didn't deserve them. You lie down. So yeah, we're not feeling so wonderful. So here is my pillow. I believe, as I say, I have mostly returned things to a usable spot. These bobbins here, that are kind of the topmost layer here on the side. These are the ones that will make the rose ground, which is our next section. These are the ones that came off the cloth stitch section, which was the section we've just done. Under here, not that you can see it, but under here is 2 piles. The initial 6 bobbins that form the ground stitch at the end, and the bobbins that were the cloth stitch set, which will go on round the corner. I did notice a marginal faux pas, which was I'd put this pin here, she says, trying to point to it, this pin here in the wrong place. It was one hole to the left, and as we know, this is quite a common problem with these tiny little pins and the small holes. So I have corrected that and checked and stuff, but I did not. Realistically, it's where we thought we left it. So I now need to push these 2 one side because I don't be needing you for now. And let me just check 2, 4. Interesting. Hang on. You are those 2. This is where a lot of these things start looking wrong here. You and you. You. And you. So 4, 4, 4. And there should be 2 more. I need to do a bit more than I thought I had. I had not returned because we'd stopped, I thought, at the right point. But apparently, I am wrong. I have not exactly done what I needed. So I'm going to cover these up for the moment, just to give me a bit more space. I don't need that much more space, but I do want to not get myself into a pickle, after all. We've already had enough pickle for today. Now, this, as we can see, I mean, clearly, these are not in the bobbin holder. They don't stay in the bobbin holder because this elastic is not strong enough by a long way. So you 2, arguably, need to come out. You're too long. Yeah, the elastic on these, if I pop these down, you'll see that the elastic is barely short of the other end. Well, it means that once it's over, there is an awful lot of room for movement, so the bobbins frankly can do what they like, which is a bit annoying, but it has reminded me that I wanted to order some more, even though they are shit. So let me try and find them, because just sit still, dog. You are not in my good books either, young lady. Okay, so Amazon, as far as I can tell, don't have them. Problem is, like everything, because lace bobbins have the same kind of name, because they're still bobbins. That's interesting.
I could probably use, just for not for its intentional purpose. It's slightly sidetracked. Amazon don't seem to have them. They probably do. The problem is finding them. Because I do have the other kind, which are far from ideal, on a whole big pile of levels, to be honest. They do have a little more grip to them, but they have many downsides, one of which is they are not flat. They are not flat in any shape or form. And the result of being not flat, well, is a problem. Just then they get annoying. Let me see if I can find them on here. Wooden lace bob in holder. That's not how you spell holder, idiot. Holder. Now I know they have sold them on here. There's the crappy kind, or the even crappier kind. There's some safety pins, which are no good to anybody for this. You need spangles for those. Where are the big flat ones? Pretty sure I bought these ones off Etsy, so you'd think it'd be easy to tell. Let's maybe do it that way. Let's go looking at what I've bought and see if I can find them. Well, apparently I didn't, so where the hell I got those from?
eBay, apparently. Maybe that'll help me find them on, because I was looking for somebody else. Bobbins, bobbins, bobbins. I appreciate this is not necessarily the most enthusiastically exciting moment, and I wasn't looking at the screen. So I do apologise, Tenchi, I was not paying attention. I am looking for more of these sticks, because Dog of Mass Destruction most certainly hit, and I am distinctly not in the mood for dog. I am not in the mood for a lot of things, to be fair. So let's see if I can find. Search. Wood lace bobbin holder. Yeah, I don't really want to buy them from America. Is there really no one in the UK that's going to bother sending them? And especially not at £20 for one stick. Really? You need me to do maths now? Really? Really, computer? Really, brain cells? Mr. Paws, but it's obviously as at the end of my last stream, I had to go and answer the door. Mr. Paws put his foot on the lace bobbin, and it flipped off, and I spent 90 minutes detangling bobbins. Not necessarily overly successfully. I'm not convinced everyone's where they should be, or at least ish. I mean, if you look carefully underneath these bobbins here, you can see that they now go up and over rather than round, which they did before. Cause I just had to do something, and I had to pick kind of out chunks as I went, and because these had all come off, they'd all gone round like the threads, and the bobbins had all kind of done a bit, kind of Captain Jack Sparrow at the bottom, wiggly wiggly, and so they held some of them still, but what they didn't do was stop other bobbins leaping through the holes and doing this,
which of course is getting stuck round pins that are nothing to do with them. I'm not quite sure how this has achieved it.
But this has achieved like a miracle. It's kind of knotted itself without me letting go of the end, which, shouldn't be possible, but it has. So, there we go. So there's been a lot of pokey, sweary. I did spot a small mistake, which was this pin was one pin over, so I have corrected that and checked that was all that was wrong with it. But other than that, I think we are ready to do the rose ground section. But there will be death to any dog live on air if it tries to kill my lace stuff one more time. And if you eat the tub of Vaseline, Mr. Paws, you can friggin' I will shame you online too. Because, yes, you. So I am not in my happiest of moods because I expected to have a couple of hours to do some nice things, to not necessarily, have parties or anything, but, to do a few good things, to, and, well, I did get my dinner. It's about the only thing I did do. It was cold. Delivery boy was late, and it was cold. But let's roll you round the corner and hold you out the way, because it's going to be a while before we need you. Right. Now we don't need you lot for a while. And we've checked that we've got the right number of pairs. So, I think, therefore I am. So, you are crossed, you are crossed. You are crossed incorrectly. You are now crossed. You are crossed. You are crossed. You are crossed. And you are crossed. Right. I'm going to do the starts for all the rose ground. Just because that way they're all done. Get off the table, Mr. Paws. Your lifespan is distinctly diminished from earlier this afternoon. You are on the thinnest of ice. If I was cruel and heartless, you'd be in the garden for the night. So we should need these. Get your face out of it. Now, I intend to do what we did with towards the end of this middle section yesterday, which was instead of working that way, which is kind of my natural source of choice, I feel like working down and across. Because this means, I don't know though, because this way there's 20 bobbins, this way there's only 16. Actually, that's not true. There's 24 this way, 20 this way. Doesn't really make a lot of difference. Let's do the first one, make our mind up at the end. So yes, I am not happy Lizzie today. And I went to order me a burger. I decided I'd have burgers for tea. They're tiny little burgers before anyone asks. They're not, when a British person says they're having a quarter pounder, what that actually means in real life is that the burger was quarter pounder before it got cooked. So as a result, they're kind of tiny little things by the time you've cooked them. So I usually have 2. And I was going to have my nice pair of burgers. I usually have a chicken one and a cheeseburger because I like a good cheeseburger. Yeah, they don't deliver here anymore. They let me pick them, but they don't deliver here anymore. So I couldn't have my burgers. So, yeah, it's not my day today. Distinctly not my day at all. And of course, in true Liz form, I did not take my painkillers because I was too busy untangling bobbins. And moreover, I have not topped up my drink. So I may end up a bit short of that and have to go and get some. Because that is not something I need. Why are you being awkward and causing mayhem? Thank you. Let's work across. Because you can step out for a second. And then you take over. That's nice. Yeah, this wasn't so bad in that the app did refuse to take my order, but it did let me, kind of plug it all in and get excited for my burger and, I'll have one of those. Oh, I really fancy. Yeah, I haven't had that for ages, kind of thing. And then just as I'm about to pay, it goes, oh, we don't deliver to you. And you're like, funny. You've been coming for like 4 years. What do you mean you don't deliver it? And like you, it's 5-minute drive and, there's frankly no excuse for it, but whatever. See, that doesn't look right. That doesn't, I suppose it is. It's just the way it's sitting. I'm just being paranoid because of the way the day's going. You know how it is. But it also only ever seems to be the ones you like. The ones that were crap and that didn't do great service, they seem to stay around forever. The ones that you really, really like seem to end up... Oh, we don't do that anymore. Oh, hang on, that's not right either. Or is it? No. I needed to bin. Binity bin. I thought I had. Nope. That's right, I had not. So today really feels like the day where I should have just gone back to bed. It just feels like that would have been a great plan for the day. Mind you saying that, Tenchi, I've had kind of the reverse, which was I used an app which only lists that which, you know, for it to be listed, they've got to have listed my postcode, a bit like your zip codes, as to, yes, we deliver there. So I placed an order, and within about 5 minutes, they rang me. Hi, you're in this village, aren't you? Yeah. We don't deliver there. Well, you've said on the app you do. And you accepted my order. You could have refused it. No, you accepted my order. Oh, we want £20 extra to deliver there. I'm sorry, what do you mean £20 extra? It's 2 miles down the road from you. Oh, yeah, but it's a 4-mile round trip. Yeah. Don't even think about it, Mr. Paws. Do not even remotely think about it. No, you're not cute. You're ugly. Pretty damn ugly today. Are you trying to say sorry? I can't move my arm, Mr. Paws. There is a 20-something kilo dog on the end of my arm. You settle down, kids. That's you dealt with. You're done. Hang on. Rory, no. You aren't. No! Mr. Claus, I take it you're sorry from your antics earlier. No, don't lick my jumper. No, I was not pleased. No, I wasn't. I do love you, but right now, not half as much as I did about 4 hours ago. Yeah. Yes. Maybe I should have had dog kebab for tea. How does that sound? If I kebabbed you, cooked you slowly over a roasting spit. Bit of chilli sauce. Screw salad. Some potatoes. What do you reckon? Hi, Sugar Bear. How you doing? We are post-dog attack here. Not actual attack. The dog catapulted my lace pillow everywhere, causing mass destruction, and I spent 90 minutes untangling bobbins. And now he's being a pain in the arse, and he's trying to say sorry, and I know he's sorry, but I don't want him to say sorry right now because I'm busy. So this is not quite where everybody should be, so we need to do a little bit of sorting out of bobbins here. Will you stop rolling into play? I'm trying to play spot the... So you should be like that. Then we can start this one. So yes, we're not feeling so dog loving right now. especially as I've got the annual dog trip to the vet thing for their yearly stab, which is the best part of £100 each, due. And without a working car, I have to scab a lift off someone. And so, you know, you need the favours, dogs. You do not need to be causing grief. You just don't have them spare, you know. And it's not like you can go out and buy me flowers or cheesecake or something. Cheesecake's better than flowers, by the way, dog. Just so you know. Because neither lasts very long, but the cheesecake tastes better. So. So yes, slightly less joyous of an afternoon. One I could have done without, I think. But we have recovered the there is still some shenanigans ahead of us, but nothing irreparable as far as I can tell. The last time they did it, I don't actually know who did it last time, but the last time they did it, that's not right somehow. Yes, it is. The last time they did it, one of the threads snapped, and the bobbin had pinged across the room, and I didn't notice because you don't, and because it had done the usual scuttle under something else. And it was only when I was doing something like this, and you're sitting there going, "How come I've got one bobbin? That doesn't make sense." And so you're sitting there going, "I've miscounted something," and you're thinking, "I've, you know, somewhere there's like one extra bobbin, and I'm one out from the start, and so you go around, and it became very quickly apparent that I was missing a bobbin. The question, of course, then became, which one? Because, you know, with 50 pairs of bobbins, well, now you've got to find the one that doesn't have a friend. And sometimes they don't lie together very well in their pairs. So it's not always as simple as, oh, it's that one. It's, you know, it's not got a friend. Because, well, maybe it's just not lying well with its friend. And so there was a lot of swearing last time. So, to be honest, we got away with it better than we did last time. Not quite sure how, but we did. But we are not really in the mood to be reliving this scenario in a hurry. But never mind. We shall... You're a bit short. So yes, he is a silly pup. And he does not know what he's done. I'd like to think he knows what he's done, but he won't know what he's done. So I'm not that mad at him, I'm just enough mad at him, if you know what I mean. I'm quietly mad at him. So how's everyone doing tonight? You're not playing Evercraft? I'm glad you're fantastic, Chenchi. Even if that maybe has a little bit of sarcasm with it. Glad you're good. That's always a good thing. We like to hear that people are good. Well, at least you're both having a better day than I am, so. So far, at least. Anyway. But as I think both of you are more stateside, you've got a bit more day to go yet. Going on 3 p.m. Is it really? Oh, I suppose it is. Yeah, but you've still got an evening to go. See, my day wasn't that bad till about 5 o'clock. So, yeah, there's still time. There's still time. You are dealt with. You just tried to mess up for me. That's better. See, now you are not the next bobbin, so we should be interesting by the time we get there. The next row will be, yes, until puppy shenanigans. We definitely don't need any more of those. Not for a while. It's not good for the soul. See, that looks so wrong. Just looks wrong. I don't think it is. It just kind of looks it, really, to be honest. Well, that's why it looks wrong. Because you're a blind old fart, and this pin needs to go in that hole there. Not that you can see it, but that hole there. So we need to tighten up some of these strings. There. That looks a little bit better. There's me wondering why I couldn't fit this pin in this hole. It's because, well, something was already in it. Ow! That was the sharp end. I thought it wasn't. See the caring dogs rush to my aid. I'm actually really impressed there's no blood from that one. That definitely was deep enough for blood, but obviously managed to miss all the important bits just as well. Goodness, dogs, just sit down and shut up. Because I could always lock you in the garage for a couple of hours. It's quite nice in there for them, but that's not the point. Oh, you're off, Tench. Well, it was nice to see you. Have a good weekend if I don't see you around at all at the weekend. But I will be here on and off. Oh, ho, 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 where art thou? Really should have filled up the cloak glass. Never mind. Now, no, Mr. Paws. Just no. Let's not. And we'll scoot you and you'd all tried to fall in already. Up there, and put cloth back on top. It's times like this you want to nail gun it down. Oh, cute, but not that cute. No. Nor are you. You don't need your nose in it, little one. If you see a brown nose sticking in, that'll be, well, the brown one. Go on, off you go. Go on. Try not to take you over the pins, if possible. Thank you. Try and make you go round them. No, don't squabble. Get your nose out. Mr. Paws, you are not in the bestest of books. You have black marks against your name. Come on. Lie down. No, not like that. Yes, that was him. Seriously, too. Get off. Come on. Out. You are... No. I said no. I said no. No. Get off. Stop mauling my arm. Hang on. Right. Words have been had. Right. Let's sort this out. Are these the bobbins I am looking for? Or are they other bobbins? Let's have a look. Because I'm not convinced. Actually, I think they are. I do think they are. I do think they are. So. These dogs are going to be the death of me, I swear of it. It's funny how dogs can act so deprived when they're not. I saw a lovely meme earlier today about how, dogs derived from the wolf. And here's my dog, and the meme was, and here's my dog who won't go outside for a week to pee, or how they've got to get you up at 4 o'clock because they desperately need to go out in the garden, but should it be raining, nah, they can wait. And yeah, I definitely have some of those. I definitely have the but it's weathery out. We can't possibly go out in the garden, or they literally will not walk if it's too weathery. They will not go outside. If it's windy, rainy, snowy, don't like snow. Well, they don't mind if it has snowed, past tense, but not while it is snowing. Definitely not hail, although, to be fair, I can understand that one. But they are very fair weather dogs, these two. Never known a dog quite so bad. I mean, I've had dogs that kind of in the sideways rain look and just go, you have got to be kidding. I am not going out there in that. And, let's face it, can't really blame them. That's not, But if you need to go, you need to go. But these two, literally, they open the door, and if it's not kind of blissful sunshine on a cloudless day, they're not having it. They just kind of, they open the door and go, oh no, turn around and come back in, and you're like, I thought you needed out. Well, we do, but not like that. Oh no, might get my fur wet. Useless dogs. Pretty sure you'd roll over and you'd get the burglars to feed your dog treats as well. Wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. I wonder if there are any decent films coming out on some of the streaming services today. I feel like I've seen everything. It's one of the disadvantages of being antisocial, single, and working from home, and not going on holidays, is that, well, having spent a considerable amount of time in, I've kind of done the streamable media over the last 4 years. I'm not going to say I've literally seen it all, but I've pretty much seen anything I would be likely to watch. And I'm down to the, kind of strange National Geographic documentary on, the mating cycle of the wildebeest or something. My favourite penchant for movies, well, I really like sci-fi and horror movies. But one of my favourite kind of passing time TV moments is to watch real B-list disaster movies. And between Amazon and Netflix, they don't half have quite a few. So realistically, 90% of them are earthquake, volcano. You would be surprised just how many of them there actually are. There is quite a few weekends worth of earthquakes and volcanoes. And don't get me wrong, some of the people are in, the same people are in most of them. Some of the graphics are shared between some of them. Because it was like, didn't I watch that scene yesterday? Kind of moments. But it's quite impressive to watch the whole kind of, oh no, there's an earthquake, it's ripping and causing a fracture line all the way around the world. What are we going to do to stop it? Kind of crap. Only you can save the earth, kind of thing. They're terrible. I mean, the acting ability and the storyline and everything are just missing, frankly. But it's something to watch, and when you haven't seen it, well, that's always a bonus. I'm pretty much done on those. I've seen most of the airplane crashing kind of movies. Picked a few mega colossal holes with one of them. There was one of them, and it was kind of... It was not the Tom Hanks one where he crashes into the Hudson and saves all the passengers and then gets grilled about it. This was, oh, the plane can't possibly land. What are we going to do? And eventually they crash into some river, and the actual footage is hysterical. So the plane lands in the river, explodes, but mostly is in one piece. Yeah, whatever. And the nose tip almost butts gently against a bridge. They then somehow clamber out without actually getting out of the plane, because that would have been interesting. And they're on the bank of the river, and the bridge is in the background. The plane absolutely is not. And I mean, absolutely. There's a black plumage about, half a mile to the back right, but that's not at the river. And then, so then they do the, and then they cut to a slightly different angle, and the plane's back. It's kind of like, Darren Brown or something, and you're kind of going, yeah, the plane doesn't disappear like that, love. Sack continuity guy. You couldn't even be bothered to Photoshop one in, So, I've watched some shockingly quality movies. And now I need to untangle some. So, I'm going to get... I found some more cloths, by the way. So I have a few ugly but serviceable cloths. For actions such as these, I'm going to cover all of you up. And I'm going to extract you out of the den of doom, and we're going to try and untangle and find out who the next four are. Although, frankly, doing it on a light coloured cloth is a really stupid idea, Kimber. So we're going to pick you up there, you up there. We're not going to use a light coloured cloth. We're going to use... There, a darker one, because I might be able to see what I'm doing now. That's a bit better. Right, let's butt you up a little bit more, although there is still room for confusion. As I said, I mostly had unscrambled things. Do not get excited. Do not wind him up. You come from somewhere over here, which makes you a candidate for the first four. You look like the first two. You look like you might be the next two. But let's sort all of you out while we're here. You come under there and under there and possibly under there, but one of you comes from over here somewhere. So let's sort you four out. Right. You two are a pair. You two are a pair. Which means you are a set. You're just tangled. And this is why I have no patience. So, I think that's you in order. And that makes you in order. Taking away of cloth, scrunching up the thing, taking the next 4, which already look like they're in the wrong order because chasing around a pin. So pretty sure that that's kind of not quite how it's supposed to be. What are you eating? I don't know what you're eating, dog. But can you stop it? Can you just not be eating it? Have you considered that? Both my dogs grind their teeth. She learned it off him. That'll pass, that's alright. So I think I know what one of the things was she ate. My computer table's got some little holes in it with little plastic kind of stud things that go in them. And they're held together by willpower. And one of them doesn't seem to be on the floor anymore. So I assume she ate it. Unless that's it there. I'm not poking around to try and get hold of it now. But yeah, they do have habits, these two. But they both grind their teeth. He started out when he was losing his puppy teeth. And she copied him. So they both now constantly grind their teeth. They open their mouth and they go as they grind their teeth down the sides. So. And their teeth have all been checked, so there's nothing wrong with them. They're just being annoying. Because they do it while they're resting their heads on yours as well, which of course makes it really noisy. Especially at night. And you are not straight. Can we straighten up a bit? There you go. was getting slightly less backache. But now I've got to sit at an angle, this is not going to last. Pin's made a leap for the floor. That was definitely the sharp end, and I thought I was poking the sharp end in the cushion. Whew. Slightly lightheaded there. Youch. That went in quite a long way. Look, actual blood. That went in a lot. That hurt. I think the world's trying to tell me something. Smelted good, that one. Right, there we have completed the rose ground. And just as a reminder to those who have missed the earlier segment, we completed one triangle, which is now under this blue cloth, where all the bobbins are hiding, which is why when it comes to add them, there are these little white lines of thread coming over from the other side. So we are stonking our way down quite well, I feel. This second triangle of the square. As you can see from the graphic, there are a lot of triangles to go. So we don't try to dwell too much on the to-go section, which is why it's not up permanently, because the reminder that I have, well, I know I've done less than a quarter of this one, so we've kind of got 71 3/4 of a square to go. It's yeah, it's going to be a long thing, but before I injure myself, before I do dumb things, before I make too many mistakes, before I'm too tired, before I'm too caught up with stupidity and the many things that affect one's mood and ability to do even the simplest thing without too many errors. I'm going to put these bobbins on here to try and keep them at least together in event of disasters. I mean, they won't stay together because that's just not how it works. And I shall grab this one, and we shall see if we can't put these on a stick. I'll show you my other bobbin holders, but I'll do that tomorrow, I think. They're basically knitting needle things. It's a double pointed needle with a cap for each end. It's got made of stronger stuff, which is a good thing, but it's not flat. It's a knitting needle, so they tend to pivot around it, whereas these, at least, I mean, you know, they don't tend to balance on the stick enough. The stick needs to be wider and the elastic a lot more stronger for that, but they do at least try. Whereas the other ones don't try so well. But I think, much as it pains me, because you know we've done quite well. We've got towards the end of our we've done a good couple of sections today. But what with the dog attack and me spending 90 minutes of unpicking and untangling and all the other things that go on to make it usable. Just going to take a quick picture. There you go. And I feel like I've done a lot more of this than I actually have, because obviously I spent an hour and a half on it while you lot weren't watching. So it disappoints me to leave you so soon. But I shall be back tomorrow morning. Maybe nearer lunchtime, so maybe let's call it afternoon to be safe. But I will be back tomorrow, and I will try and do as much as I can tomorrow. We will probably keep doing it in somewhere between 2 and 4 hour batches, so that I have a bit of a break in between. Hi. I'm going to apologise for butchering everybody's name. Guzzy Susie. It is nice to meet you. And yes, it will be great if you can join us tomorrow. If you have questions, always feel free to ask your questions, no matter how stupid they may seem. There is no such thing as a stupid question. Well, actually, there are plenty of stupid questions. I face them every day at work. Or at least some of them are really, truly, mind-numbingly stupid questions. But I'd consider no question entirely stupid, because if you don't know, you don't know. But I'm happy to try and explain all that I can. I am no guru. You could argue I'm not a new lace maker, but technically I kind of am. I did some when I was a kid. So I did some probably 40 years ago, and some more. And then I didn't do any until about 2 months ago. So I can hardly claim I'm an expert, because I'm frankly not. I do pick things up fairly quickly, and I do retain quite a bit of knowledge, so I can be fairly authoritative in the stuff that I know, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. But I'm not ashamed to admit I don't know everything, because, well, there'd be no fun in life if you knew everything, because there'd be nothing to learn. So I have lots to learn, and making a neck curtain is clearly one of them, because my brain cells thought that was a great idea. So here we are. But yes, I shall see you all tomorrow. And by the way, I will point out that, not that I expect you to sub to me, because I really don't, but if you sub right now with Twitch, they will give you 3 months Nitro for Discord, apparently, allegedly. So that's the thing. Don't know if it works for Amazon Prime subscriptions, but just thought I'd mention it, because they've mailed me 3 times and sent me 2 messages about it, so they're clearly pushing it quite hard. So I have done my duty to pass on the information. But as I don't expect anyone to sub, because, well, I'm not convinced how much of a spectator sport this is. But I am pleased to see each and every one of you. Oh, I've used the wrong. Oh well, we haven't got my usual darker ones. These are a little bit brighter, but never mind. And then I shall cover it with one of my traditional brown ones. Where's my proper brown one? I'm sitting on it. There we go. Try and layer the cloths over to help reduce dog effects, because we're not going through that. But yes, so I apologise, it's a bit of a shorter one today. 120, well, 1 hour 20 minutes. But I'd rather stop and not make mistakes and spend tomorrow fixing them, because we are trying not to make mistakes after all. There will be mistakes, there are mistakes, but we are trying to avoid them. So I hope you have a good rest of the evening. For those of you who are in Europe, it's kind of getting late. For those of you in America, you've got your evening to go. Have a good evening, and hopefully I shall see you tomorrow.